The individual has always had to fight not to be dominated by the tribe. Being your own man is a difficult matter. If you try, you will often be alone and sometimes scared, but no price is too high to pay for the privilege of owning yourself. Rudyard Kipling, The Diary of a King. We live in the era of adult children. Everyone wants freedom, but nobody wants responsibility. The truth is, you cannot have freedom without taking responsibility for your life. You want to live on your own? Want a car? Want to start a business where you can do what you want whenever you want? Well, all that comes with sacrifices and responsibilities. Every freedom comes with a certain degree of responsibility. But what happens if you gain freedom without responsibility? It's only possible if someone else grants you freedom and takes responsibility for your needs, as parents often do during childhood. This way, a child can have freedom without responsibility. But if you're an adult, as tempting as it seems, you don't really want it. Freedom without responsibility will hinder your growth and turn you into a slave. Let me give you a rather cliched example, but one that illustrates this concept well. The spoiled rich kid. His parents give him freedom without requiring him to take on any responsibility. He can ask for money whenever he wants and get anything he desires without having to give anything in return. He doesn't need to do well in school, doesn't need to work, doesn't need to do chores at home, not cooking, not cleaning, because his family has money, maids and cooks. He doesn't even need to make genuine friends, as people are willing to spend time with him just to gain access to his wealth. But one day, after spending too much of his father's money, the father decides to cut him off and kick him out of the house. Now an adult, the son is left to fend for himself. He must live on his own, earn his own money, and take care of his own needs. And what happens? A man like this cannot function in the world. He has no idea how to take care of himself because he's never had to. He doesn't know how to study, how to get a job, how to earn his own money, how to clean, how to cook, or how to develop genuine relationships. This man is entirely dependent on others. He is a man-child, and as long as he remains dependent, he will never be free. He will expect others to provide him with the same lifestyle his father did. And if he finds someone willing to do so, he will become a slave to their expectations. In the worst-case scenario, if he finds no one, he will turn to escapism to try to meet the needs he cannot fulfill on his own. I know this is a very extreme example, but I also know you're starting to see the point. So, can you have freedom without responsibility? In the short term, yes. But in the long term, no. Most people don't really want true freedom, because freedom implies responsibility, and most people fear responsibility. Sigmund Freud said that never taking responsibility for your own needs has a cost, and that cost is your freedom. But if you start taking responsibility for your own needs, you will become more competent. And as you become more competent, you will become more independent. And as you become more independent, you will gain the ability to rebel. Remember this word, rebellion. Authenticity means taking responsibility for being who you are. It means recognizing your freedom to be who you are. Jean-Paul Sartre. Now, let's look at the opposite extreme of the example. Think of a child who is neither rich nor spoiled but gradually takes on more responsibility for themselves and begins to meet their own needs. This child starts by taking on responsibilities at home. Then they begin working part-time, helping to pay the household bills, saving money with great effort, and gradually buying the things they want. At this point, this young person is paying all their bills and is entirely independent of their parents. As you can see, they gradually took on more and more responsibilities, which made them competent. Being competent made them more independent, and being independent gave them the ability to rebel. Why rebel? Suppose one day they decide they want to move to another city to pursue a specialization and live on their own. But when they tell their parents, they are told not to go. Why not attend a local university and choose another specialization? Stay close by. But our friend has already become a responsible, competent, and independent young adult. So they rebel and go after what they want. They move away anyway and preserve their freedom. I am free because I know that I am morally responsible for everything I do. Robert A. Heinlein. So, what does it mean to be freer? It means being able to live authentically. Freedom is the freedom to be yourself. Remember rebellion. It's carving your own path outside the expectations of others. This kind of freedom is only possible when you can rebel against others, when you can say no to what they demand of you, and the ability to rebel is only possible when you become independent of others. Independence is only achieved when you become competent, when you no longer rely on others to meet your needs. Because the less competent you are, the more dependent you will be on others. And the more dependent you are, the more you will have to suppress your authenticity to meet their expectations. In other words, the more you depend on others, the more you will have to conform to what they expect of you. You can only be blamed, admired, or respected for the things you voluntarily do. If any part of this message was helpful to you, leave a like and comment.